Hey everybody, my name is Angelyn, and if you didn't see my first video, I basically created this YouTube channel in order to tell my story and to connect with people who have been through similar situations, or even just help people that are going through or have been through similar situations who feel like there's nobody out there that has been. I've definitely been through it all. And I just want to tell my story in hopes to help somebody out there that may need it. So today I'm going to be talking about adoption. I was adopted. I was placed with my grandparents before I turned 1 year old, and then I was adopted at age 4. And there's a lot of misunderstanding around adoption, and there's a lot of misunderstanding around the feelings that come with being adopted, with the feelings that come with just not growing up in the home where your parents are at. And there's a lot of clarification needed, and I feel like I can only tell my story, and I can only tell, how I feel about it, and I definitely intend to do so. So the positive side to being adopted is that my grandparents, well, in my case, my grandparents stepped in when the situation was no longer a good situation for a baby to be raised in, and they took care of me. They provided for me. They provided me with a stable home, a loving, family, and they did everything that they could for me in order that I grew up in a good situation. The other positive thing is that I was raised by my grandparents. I wasn't raised by strangers. I didn't go to the state. I wasn't raised in foster care. I was raised by family, and that was a good thing at times, and also it could at times be a bad thing. And the reason that it was a bad thing at times was because my grandma that raised me, who I called mom, was my biological father's mom. So I was in close contact with my parents, with my biological parents, and I saw them, 3, 4, 5 times a year. We'd visit on holidays during the summer, so on and so forth. And that was a blessing that I did get to see them and be in touch with them and be in contact with them. But at the same time, every time it was time to go, it would be a struggle for me, because I was hoping that that would be the time that they would say, hey, just stay here, or you don't have to go this time, you can live with us now. And that never happened. So 3, 4, 5, 6 times a year, it was really hard for me to say goodbye to these people, because I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go home. I wanted that to be my home. And so that is something that not everybody goes through when you're raised, in a separate household that's not family. You probably don't go through that as often. And it was a real struggle for me, because with abandonment issues and just that fear of rejection and all of that, it just nurtures that. Because every single time I'm hoping that I will be enough, that this time I will have done something to spark their, interest or their love, and make them want to keep me around. And that was never the case, and that hurt every single time. I would cry hysterically all the way home, because I lived in Las Vegas, they lived in California, so it'd be a 4-hour drive home of just hysterically crying. And it was really rough on me. So, being raised by my grandparents, they were understanding, they loved me. They were always honest with me about the situation and about, the reason why I was adopted and all of that. But it just didn't make it any easier. It actually made it a little more difficult in that aspect as well, because I thought, well, I'm being raised by my grandparents, so everything's okay. And I ignored all of the feelings that I wasn't okay, that I did feel. I felt like I wanted to be with my parents. I felt like, why wasn't I good enough? Why didn't they ever come back for me? Why didn't they fight for me? Why is it so easy to walk away from me? And I felt those things, but I ignored them, because I was with my grandparents and I felt loved, and I felt like I should be happy. And that's one thing about being adopted and kids that are adopted that I find that is really pushed on us. we should be happy. Somebody stepped in, somebody's providing for us, yeah, but we also have these feelings of, why wasn't I enough for my parents to fight for me? Why wasn't I enough for my parents to step in and say, you know what, this is my child and I'm going to do whatever it takes to, get her back, or, whatever the case is. Everybody's scenario is different, but with mine, that was my thing. I ignored the feelings of abandonment, of, I felt horrible half the time, and I just didn't want to bring it up or didn't want to talk about it because it would make my grandma feel bad. It would make my grandparents feel bad, and that wasn't my intention. So I feel like I'm probably not the only one that happens to, where we don't feel comfortable talking about our feelings, talking about, I feel horrible because my parents don't want me. We're not allowed to say that because I shouldn't feel horrible. I should be grateful. And, it's very conflicting information for a child to have to take in. And it's something that a lot of recognition needs to be brought to it, because it's not a bad thing for a child to feel that way, From ignoring those feelings, I would go to school and I'd feel out of place. I'd be bullied. I literally peed my pants until the 7th grade. There were so many different issues going on with me from me repressing those feelings instead of just bringing them up and talking about it, because it wasn't okay. I should be grateful. I should be happy. I'm in a better situation now. So let's just focus on the positive and let's not bring light to what's perceived as the negative. And so because it was ignored for so long, as a 20-some-odd-year-old, 30-year-old adult, now I'm having to forcefully face these feelings and understand why I feel like I never fit in, understand why I was bullied all through school, understand why I still, struggle with self-esteem issues, abandonment issues, fear of rejection issues, all of these things, because, instead of embracing both sides of the spectrum, so to speak, I was not forced. I was never forced to do anything, but it was more of like, let's not focus on that, more suggestion type thing. So like I said initially, I'm definitely grateful for my grandparents. I'm grateful for the loving home that I grew up in. I just wish that I had known then what I know now. And that is that when somebody does something to me or their actions affect me, it's not a reflection of who I am. It's a reflection of what they have going on inside. And so, now that I know that when people do things that hurt me or say things that hurt me, I understand that it's not personal. And had I known this back then, I might have, grown up with a different way of thinking, and may have grown up with the ability to put myself back together a lot sooner, as far as my self-esteem and my abandonment issues go. But, everything happens for a reason. I truly believe that. And I truly believe that, everybody's doing the best that they can with the information that they have, like I said before. And so everything comes along in its due time. But, I just wish that if somebody who's struggling, or not just with being adopted, but with any type of issues with, taking people's actions, people's words, people's things personally. It's not personal. People are only doing what they're doing because of what's going on inside of them. Normally, if somebody's going through something and it's causing them a lot of stress, a lot of turmoil, a lot of whatever, it's their main focus. So when they lash out or they act out or they don't do something that they should do, it's not personal. They're so consumed with what's going on inside of them that they're not able to act or react in a way that is, a reflection of the love that they have for the people around them. And like I said, I just wish I would have known that then, like I know it now. But that's why I'm making these videos. Hopefully I can reach somebody who needs that message, who, went through a similar situation or is going through a situation and is just like, hey, why is this happening? Or why are the people around me acting the way that they are, it's not personal. It's not personal, and all you can do is just, understand that that person's probably in pain or that person has a lot going on, and just side note it and do what's best for you. So basically, just to wrap it up, my whole point in making this video is to just shed light on the fact that everybody's entitled to their feelings. As an adopted child, yes, I'm grateful for the home that I was raised in. I'm grateful for the people that raised me. But that being said, I'm also entitled to wonder why, my parents weren't there. Wonder why I wasn't enough. Wonder why, they never came back. They never fought for me. And that goes for everybody who's adopted or anybody who's gone through a similar situation. If you overhear somebody kind of bickering about it or going on about it, don't insist on them being grateful. Hear them out. Let them know, listen, it's not about why you're not enough. It's not about, the fact that you aren't good enough or the fact that they don't want you. That has nothing to do with anything. The fact is that they're so wrapped up in whatever they have going on that they don't realize how it's affecting the people that they love. And so with that being said, the way to get out of that type of thinking and that headspace is to develop so much love for yourself that you're untouchable. That's the only thing that you can do. These people weren't capable of showing me the love that I needed, so now it's up to me to do that. And I didn't figure that out till, now o'clock. So I hope that whoever's watching this, if you're going through something similar and you're wondering, why you were never enough or this, that, or the third, don't worry about that. Just focus on developing enough love for yourself that you are completely untouchable. And when you start out doing that, it feels so foreign. You don't even know where to begin, how to do it. It feels fake. And that's the whole thing. Just fake it till you make it. Just do the things that make you happy, that make you feel loved. If I was to be around somebody who loved me, how would they treat me? What would they do? How would I know that they loved me? And do that for yourself. And just fake it until you make it. That's all you can do. And then eventually it becomes to the point where you feel it. You feel the self-love and you become untouchable. And that is when you are, golden. That's when you stop worrying about who cares about you, who loves you, why did this person do this to me, why did they say that to me. You don't care anymore. It doesn't matter because you love yourself enough to know that your worth is not determined by somebody else's words, not determined by somebody else's actions. And that's really the whole point of this video, is to, help people get back to that state of unconditional love without needing it out from outside yourself. And if we could just touch on the adopted joke that everybody likes to say, oh, my brother's adopted, ha ha ha, my sister's adopted, ha ha ha. That's not fucking funny, okay? It's not. Let's wrap it up. So that's it for this video. If you like the video, please hit the like button below. If you know somebody that would benefit from this video, from this information, please share it with them. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.